Hey y'all, this is Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey Kat. And this is the Fake Ass Book Club. Wait, can we both say it or no?
Welcome back, you guys. It's another fun episode of the Fake Ass Book Club. It's your girl, Moni.
And this is Kat.
Hey, Kat.
Hey, Moni.
You look colorful. And I mean it this time.
That's a callback.
It is.
And you're right. You look colorful as well. Why don't you let the people see there it is. There it is.
There's a little colorfulness
We're
going
wearing
on.
rainbows.
I know. It's so funny, though, because I think maybe we said subconsciously I chose this. I almost wore this yesterday and it was going to rain, so I swapped out the outfit. So I was like, ooh, I'll just wear this tomorrow. And I forgot that we were recording Butterfly in the Sky, the documentary, and filmed by Bradford Thompson and Brett Wickham, featuring LeVar Burton, who is one of Burton. Why do I keep saying Burton?
I like it.
It's very country.
Because you really
LeVar
get country. Like you're very rarely
country though.
But no, I said you usually don't get country. Every once in a while, something will slip out, and
there
it'll
goes.
be like
there
Barton.
it is, LeVar Burton, and reading Rainbow. You guys, let's get into it. And so I show up and see her this morning, and she has on a rainbow dress, which. Was this by design for you today, the rainbow?
So for one, it's June.
It is June.
It's Happy Pride.
Yes,
and it's time of year where I'm breaking out my sundresses.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? This will do double duty because I want to wish everybody a happy Pride.
Indeed.
I'm not gay, but I'm supportive. And
you came out as heterosexual last weekend. That's
yeah.
right. Yeah.
And I'm proof that it's not a choice. Like, I'm not choosing that because if I could choose.
What would you choose?
I would probably choose just to be either solidly asexual.
Damn.
Or
not solidly. I've never heard anybody
because I used to say I'd want to be gay, but everything's just fraught with problems because there's another person.
It's like, where's the model where I don't partner up with another
and that
person?
would be, yeah. So,
Wow.
But no, I wouldn't necessarily want that. But yeah, it's just not a choice. It doesn't matter what you don't get to choose that. Like you like what you like.
It's true.
So, but yes, and then also too, because reading Rainbow, and not for nothing, rainbows are fun.
I love them. They look nice.
Refracted light. Come on.
Such a vibe. So I just thought it was funny. I was
Do you
not
remember
expecting.
having like prisms in school?
I remember having prisms
I thought that
hanging
was
from
the coolest thing.
the rear view mirror in my car, and then I think my mom had like one, and the sun hits it. It's just rainbows are fun.
It feels magical.
It does. I like it. And so, yeah, you guys, that was a long way of saying we're talking about the documentary today. Obviously, we're excited because we went on a tangent about rainbows and our dresses and stuff in summertime. But let's get into this documentary. I wanted to give you guys a little bit about it. So for 26 seasons, PBS Reading Rainbow met young viewers in their living rooms, whisking them away to a far-off adventure into boundless worlds of books. With the help of celebrity narrators and 9-year-old book reviewers, the show's iconic host, LeVar Burton, brought real-life lessons and honest conversations to life in a way you had never seen before on screen. Despite the ongoing fundraising hurdles and new public school testing standards, Burton and the show's creators held tight to their authentic, down-to-earth approach to fuel kids' lifelong love of learning and reading. Inspiring and nostalgic, Butterfly in the Sky tells a tale of a revolutionary reading movement. And iconic, right? I mean, it's
sent so many memories flooding back watching it. Yeah.
I love it. So I'm glad we're here to do this today, you guys. And so before we do, I think we should dedicate the show.
Why do you think that?
Because we always do. Hands over your hearts, doggone it. All right, you guys. So as always, we want to thank first and foremost our patrons. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your continued support. Also, I want to dedicate this to, a lot of my faves have birthdays in May and June. So shout out to all the summer babies. Shout out to summertime, to rainbows, to warmth, and to reading. What about you, friends?
And summer reading programs.
Yes.
Yes. To your dedication. So my dedication is going out to Pride Month. And for everyone who has been brave enough to claim ownership of their bodies. I always say on the show, your body belongs to you, but living in that it takes bravery and courage and discipline. And so just for everybody out there who's doing that.
Oh, I like that.
I liked it too.
Very nice.
So yeah, dedication over.
Okay. Yay. What a way to start. So let's get into it, friends. I know you have a little bit about the
Mr. Burton.
Yeah,
Mr.
give
Burton.
us a little bit about Mr. Burton.
Okay, well, LeVar Robert Martin Burton Jr. is an American actor, director, television, and podcast host. He played Geordi LaForge in Star Trek The Next Generation, Kunta Kinte in the ABC miniseries Roots, and was the host of the PBS Kids educational television series Reading Rainbow for 23 years.
That's impressive.
It is. And he also went to the University of Southern California. And yeah. And we love him.
And we love him.
Yeah. Oh, and his podcast is called
She's an accent now, guys.
I'm fancy now. No, his podcast is called LeVar Burton Reads, and he just reads short stories. And I've actually found some kind of cool authors too, just listening to his podcast. He just keeps giving.
He's got one of the best just speaking voices. It's so clear. It's just so warm. And we were kind of talking about this on the Patreon or just before about how there's just something about LeVar. There's just something about him. I even was asking my husband. So like looking back on Reading Rainbow, like sometimes when you look back at some of your favorite stuff, you look back and think, man, that actually wasn't.
Yeah,
that didn't hold up.
That
didn't quite
not
hold up.
Everything did.
And even when like during the documentary, there's times where they're showing some of the old episodes, which some of them I did remember, but they're just so good. And a lot of it has to do with, for one, just him as a person, his delivery, his inherent warmness, that genuine connection that you feel with him as the watcher of the show. And I don't know, I just remember as a kid I think that especially growing up in Detroit, there could be this notion that like if you were that guy, you were a dork or not cool or something like that. But it almost was like he somehow escaped that sort of negative sort of space.
That pressure.
To
be like that super cool dude.
Because he kind of was though.
Yeah,
even
he's
though
like,
he was, you know what I'm saying? I'm out
Just
here
as
reading
I am.
Rainbow.
I want to rap. I want to act. Like he wanted to be a theater actor. So he was technically a theater nerd.
He was.
And but in keep in mind, we don't use nerd as a pejorative around here. We love the nerds.
Yeah.
They've given us, once again, like LeVar, they give us so much. And whatever, you're a nerd too.
Okay, but you're a bigger one.
And that's
and
fair.
it's okay though.
And it's
You're
not
right.
exactly.
It's
That's
not.
how I'm just saying.
Teasing.
It's just observably true.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked it when he described it as he hosts the show as the 8-year-old version of himself.
Oh yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, wow, that really, because there is that sort of purity and innocence to it. And this is the part that made me cry.
The part.
Well, one of the parts that made me cry. Because I was thinking about when he said that, because I've had the thought before, like with your daughter, when she was 8, I felt like I was getting to know the 8-year-old version of you that I never got to meet.
Yeah.
And it speaks to the 8-year-old version of me. Because that is something I regret, that we didn't get to be friends when we were like younger. And like it feels like almost like a not a redo, but a way to like almost experience that. And
That's
I was
so
like,
funny.
wow. I was like, this is pretty great.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. And he just does a really great job of tapping into that natural curiosity that kids have. And even now I'm like, man, this was still a good show. Like I was, I really love being able to like see some of those kid interviews, which was a really nice aspect of the show.
Yes, and them as adults, like having them come back, that was awesome.
Kind of like that.
It did.
With some of those now adult, some of them were still kind of in the same field and stuff, but got to talk about their experience on the show and how positive it was and how reassuring it was. And yeah, man, it just was, oh my God, I just loved it. And I loved how it started off because what was that lady's name?
Twyla?
Yeah, Twyla Legit, I believe her name. She was one of the co-creators. She was
no, the co-creators were somebody else. She would, let me see here.
No, Twyla C. Lidget, co-creator,
Oh,
first and second
Lidget.
grade teacher,
Oh,
turned
okay.
creator. Yeah.
So the other people were there
was
were
a bunch
Lancet,
of them.
Lancet.
Because they ended up married.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
That's
yeah.
okay. There's a lot of
There was
LTs.
a lot of, she was, it's
But
kind of starts
Twyla, I
off.
just kept calling her Twyla. I was very informal. I feel like me and Twyla were like this.
You better put some respect on that lady's name. You don't know her like that.
But yeah, I did. But I felt like I did though. She cared so much. Like sometimes life is so discouraging. It feels easier to not care.
Well, let's talk about her just real quick
Okay.
because it did sort of start off with her. Well, first they start with LeVar. He's reading a book that was, I think he said it was one of his favorite, Amazing Grace.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that story was like the courage to be yourself. And he kind of shared about that. And then they take us to Twyla, and she was talking about how she got started. And she was a first and second grade teacher, and she was speaking on just like, man, like first and second graders are so naturally curious, and I just love teaching so hard. And then when No Child Left Behind, which is very famous legislation that was passed in the like 80s. I
You
wanna
can't
say
see
one
me,
of the
but
Bushes,
Kat's giving two thumbs
down.
down from during George Bush Jr.'s tenure.
It got
And
to
he
the
famously said, "I'm not a reader."
And we could tell.
And it shows.
It was we knew. And so it was just kind of like there's a shift from teaching kids to love reading toward, teaching toward the test. So she got disenchanted with
And having
teaching.
these metrics. Like, well, we
Yeah.
can't measure how much children love reading. It's
Right.
like, okay, but
It's pretty
it's
bad.
this corporatization of education that's gross and why our education system's bad.
It's still
We're-
failing in a lot of ways.
In a lot of ways. So,
Yeah.
that was making me really emotional, too.
Yeah.
Because she was getting very real. And when she was talking about the amount of sexism she had to experience, like her superintendent straight up telling her, like, I don't want another female principal.
Just like,
It's like, how are you gonna say that to my face? Like, why are you so comfortable saying that to me? Like,
what you gonna do?
We need to start hitting people more. Weren't we talking about that earlier about how our behavior would be different if we weren't scared of being like physically harmed?
yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I would be flexing on a lot more people. But what I loved about her sharing that part of her journey was just, you forget that there are people who really love teaching kids, really are invested in, helping our kids learn and cultivate not only like a love for reading, but just learning in general. And storytelling we always talk about, this is how we learn best, I think, when we're sharing stories and stuff like that.
Very much, because I say this a lot, but you have to shift your narrative. Like, to really understand a story, you have to shut your own internal narrative off and step into somebody else's story. And to me, that enriches my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think my life is better if I'm just seeing it from my point of view all the time.
No.
Like, I'm the most, like I have the best eyes on everything.
Yeah, and it feels like that until you start hearing other people's stuff, and you're like, hold on, maybe, perhaps,
And then just because to go back to Twyla real quick, when she's talking about everything became about testing.
Yes.
And if you listen to this show, Kat does not like all the standardized testing. It's not a good way to measure if people are learning. It's only thing it measures is how good you are at taking tests. By the way, I'm excellent at it. So I'm not just complaining because I'm like, oh, I'm not a good test taker. Excellent test taker.
Just so you know.
I could have taken the SATs in like 9th grade. Like,
because you were like, I had all the info at that point.
and I took it like the last one, like I had barely gotten any sleep the night before and only took it once.
What'd you get?
I believe I got a, what is it? I got a 1260.
What are you supposed to get?
So this was back when, because now I think it's like 2,400, but then they took it back to, I think 1,600 was the highest you could get.
Oh, okay.
So it was decent.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a decent one time, because usually people take it multiple times and take their best one.
I think I took it.
I kind of didn't even want to go to college,
Yeah,
so
I
I wasn't super into it. I was just like, by that time, I was like, I don't know, man. There's just so much white supremacy.
What's the other one you can take?
ACT.
I think I did that one.
Yeah,
And I don't remember what I got on
I
it.
think the top you can get for that one's 30
Oh.
for each. I don't know if it's 30 total or 30. I
Per
feel like
section.
it was 30, or I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know.
I got through college. Nailed it.
All to say we're still succeeding without knowing any of that stuff, like at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's
so.
not really the best way. Of course, you want to make sure the kids are learning. Like, you
Yes.
have to have standards, but there are ways of maintaining those standards without constantly stressing the kids out with tests and just putting money in the pockets of McGraw-Hill.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, the opportunity came up after she stopped teaching because I think it was Nebraska TV. They were looking for production professionals who had, which she didn't have any production, TV stuff, but she knew how to write grants and she was an educator. And so they gave her a chance and she met up with, I think the two that you were talking about, was it the Lancet, Cecile and Larry, the other co-creators?
Cecilia and Larry Lancet. Yeah, I loved them.
They were adorable.
That was a couple goals.
They were so cute. I don't think, did they get married later? Because I think at first they had
I don't know if she
names.
just didn't take her name. I think she kept her mate. I think she hyphenated or something.
Okay.
Which is cool.
They were just so cute. Everybody involved,
Awesome.
their auras exuded like love and just genuine.
Well,
it was just awesome.
what if we all lived that way?
I thought about that. I'm like, what a joy. Like these people, 30, however many years later talking about this, all of the love and energy, positive energy they felt toward this project just oozed out of this.
Oh yeah, because it was
awesome.
so well said. I had to take screenshots.
Do it.
Of the caption. So the first one was, their love for what they were doing changed people's lives, and that's true. I'm proof of it.
Felt it.
And you never know how far out a single effort of love can go.
Yes.
And it's true. Like it sometimes feels like pointless. Like it's just like there's so much hate. Like what's my little pebble of love gonna do with all these bombs of hate?
It's true. It
But-
could change generations of people.
But if everyone had had that attitude, I don't think we would be where we are now, talking back on the internet.
Yeah, man. And I thought it was interesting too that their experience before was doing like documentary style type shows, which they were able to kind of integrate into this show. So that's why you would always see LeVar on these adventures, which was always really appealing to me because I love traveling.
And see, I like traveling through books.
See, I like them both, and I like that they put those together because it felt a lot like, wow, like, okay, I can't physically go here, but I can go here.
I can go
him.
anywhere.
Yeah, I can go anywhere. It was so, it just was so nice.
I remember watching the show because I'd be so excited when it was coming on, and I remember feeling actually sad when I knew the show was about to be over. And keep in mind, this is before streaming, people. I couldn't binge it.
Nope.
I couldn't it wasn't a YouTube video. I couldn't just hit replay.
Nope.
It was just that time and place. But Sesame Street and LeVar and Reading Rainbow just meant so much.
Well, let's talk about the song. So Steve Horlick, he was the writer of the song, and they found this singer, Tina Fabrique, to sing the song. And he was like, when we created it, we just wanted a song that when kids heard it, they'd slide across the floor in front of the TV to see it. And that's basically...
It worked. And the animation.
It was just so
watching it
cool.
again, I was just like, oh...
I love this.
Love is the perfect word.
Yeah.
I love it so hard. And that's the thing that's so amazing. Like, it still stands up. Like, that's the thing, like, years later. Because like you said, some stuff you go back on, it's like,
this doesn't look so good. And it's so funny because my kids are always ones to critique old content. Like when they're seeing movies and stuff, they're like, this is what you guys used to watch.
Why is this so desaturated?
They're like, I can see the strings from the spaceships. Like, what the hell is
It's like,
going
why
on
is it
here?
all wavy?
Yeah, like I gotta squint my eyes a little bit. But my daughter was kind of in the room while I was watching it, and she was like, oh, that's pretty good. I said, oh, yeah.
She's a tough cookie.
Yeah, she's not easily impressed. So that's what I thought, well, if it passed her test, then we know it was good. But just the song itself, I thought it was pretty interesting how they gave us a peek into how he made the song. So he had his little synthesizer and keyboard out, and just what a song. The lady who sings the song, Tina Fabrique, I mean, her voice is beautiful. She doesn't get enough shine at this point. Like, everybody needs to know her name at this point.
Yeah,
So
I feel like it's a shame that that's not a household name. She was it was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was super cool. So I really love that. I also love at this time, so like when they were looking for the host, when they were showing like this, LeVar was at a point in his career where he was like doing the acting thing, and he had just done Roots, and so like he was becoming this huge star, and everybody knew where he was. Because think about this was during a time, like she said, there's no internet, there's no streaming. Like this Roots played on like for, was it 8-hour thing, like over
Now,
the course
I
of days?
don't know because I didn't watch it when it aired, but I feel like it was over several days.
I want to say it was like an 8-day thing, and it's like it was on the prime time slot, so everybody
Wasn't
who had
OJ in it?
everybody was watching it. I don't know.
I feel like OJ
He
was.
probably was. He might have been. Google that.
Okay.
But yeah, it was just like it was taking over. So like his star was rising, and when they showed like his interview, or not his interview, but his when he was auditioning for the part and got it. He was only 18 years old.
A baby.
He was so
voice,
poised.
His voice hadn't even deepened all the way yet.
He's such a natural talent. Like they were showing part of it, and I just thought, man, this kid, out of all of the thousands of people who auditioned, he got that part. So they were talking about who they were wanting to tap for this particular hosting gig, and they ended up coming up with
There he is,
LeVar.
your boy.
Dang, that is OJ. Okay,
Yeah,
sexy,
OJ was in
flexy.
Roots. Yeah.
Okay, Roots. But they wanted it to be a male because they kind of wanted to give like Fred Rogers vibes.
Yes.
And also to who was your girl? Cecile? Not Cecile. You said y'all knew each other. Twyla, yeah. Twyla was saying that she wanted, it was important for her to have a male host because, you know, she said typically, you know, young boys are the ones who don't really like reading as much.
They have trouble
So
reading.
She wanted to make sure that appealed. And so I don't know.
And
I thought it was a bold.
interesting because I think that women are. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you.
Don't you think that was a bold choice though? Like I feel like at that time to pick a black guy to be the face of a children's reading show. I just
big
feel like
time.
That was pretty like so to me. I just felt like that was a little ahead
Especially
of their
an
time.
authentically black guy, a guy who was like, "No, I'm not shaving my mustache.
No, and I'm keeping the earring.
and I'm keeping the earring. My girl likes it."
Okay,
He's like, "Well, no, I'm not gonna be rude, but
we can get to that part. But yeah, I just thought that was a bold choice.
I loved that. Can I just say I love that when he dropped that in there? He was like, "Yeah, the fact that I can't remember the black guy at the end of the book with the locks they were interviewing, but he was just talking about how he loved seeing him with the like, oh no, this is a real brother,
Yeah,
because he was like, it's like because you see like Michael Jordan, same thing, that gold hoop, man. There's just something about it.
It's that representation. But what were you gonna say, friend? Did it escape you now?
It did.
Dang it. See?
It's okay.
See? But yeah, so but that is important too, because like I was speaking to that before, like, you know, even though LeVar didn't represent what we would normally see or how we would normally see young black men presented on TV, there was something so authentic about it that it felt natural. It's like, yeah, that's LeVar. Yeah.
This is what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
So the fact that the prevailing narrative in a lot of educational institutions that women don't do as well in technology, like in STEM and things like that. But it's funny that reading is technically a type of technology. It's an ancient technology, but it is a technology. And the fact that the first technology that we pretty much do in school, girls are usually better at it. And so it's kind of interesting that as time goes on, that there's this idea that somehow there's something about the female brain that we can't do technology, where it's just interesting.
Yeah.
But it's true. Like we both have sons, and something that I was always very mindful of was, you know, the fact that the educational system isn't really built for young black boys. And how, you know, you have to like put everything in your favor for them to do well. Like you can't just assume like, oh, I'll be fine. It's like, no.
You gotta get on in there.
You gotta get on in there.
Get on in there, boy.
Yeah, like it had to be very hands-on before I feel like it was to a point where he was like good with independent learning.
Yeah, and I mean, because it's a skill. You do have to learn and
you have to learn to learn.
Yeah. And what it takes for you as a person to learn, because you're gonna get a lot of different avenues to get there, and not all of them are gonna work for you, because you know what works for one person may not work for another. So, and it's interesting to see.
What's the best educational tip that you've gotten? Like when you were in school and you were like, oh, this works for me.
I think, well, I know. So just something I noticed on my own first was just like, I need a lot of repetition. Like I have to be like, just lots and lots of drilling it, which is awful, but it's, you know, that's what
how
it takes.
I grew up in elementary school. They drilled everything.
You just
in there.
had to, and, but sometimes just, absurd things. Like if I'm trying to memorize concepts or words, I have to be able to associate it with something ridiculous. That helps me remember it. Or even like with spelling, because I'm terrible. I have to say the word how it sounds.
You're
to
not
me.
terrible at spelling. English is insane.
Oh, well.
If we're in any way logical, I feel like we would be better at it. A lot of times you're just guessing. It's like,
I don't know.
Is this the time where these rules don't matter?
Right. It
like,
is.
It's like, well, it's
I
I before E, except
for
after
these 20
C,
words.
or when it sounded as A is in neighbor or way, and then there's some other exceptions. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just a lot.
Google will let you know. They'll be like, did you mean?
It's like, I did, girl. I did. Yeah, so I would say, just being able to associate things that don't go together.
So do you do better learning like in groups or alone? Alone. Okay.
I believe so, yeah.
It was so funny because I figured out with my daughter, she doesn't like, because for me, I'm the same way. I need to study alone or I'll get distracted. But she gets lonely.
During studying?
Yeah.
Oh. She gets lonely? Bless her heart.
I remember my cousin's husband said that too. That's why he doesn't like to cook, because he gets lonely.
Sometimes I get lonely.
And me and my cousin were just like, what?
It's like, I'm just lonely in here, mixing up the eggs. It's like, what? So, like, you want somebody just sitting across from you while you're
I guess
mixing up
people
eggs?
get lonely, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess.
I mean, so there is something to that, I guess. Because there's something about being in a kitchen that's closed off and you're the only one in there cooking and everyone's having fun. But for me, it's not like that I'm lonely. I feel like I'm missing out on the fun stuff and I'm oppressed by the work of doing the cooking. It has less to do. Like, I'm not lonely.
It'll just be like, it's just the two of them. So like, she'll just be doing something else and he's cooking and he's lonely. Like, he just maybe wants a cooking buddy.
Oh.
And I don't mind a cooking buddy.
Yeah.
Like, that can be fun. But also, I don't mind cooking alone either. Sometimes I like the sort of meditative state I get into cooking. So.
Well, the idea of it sometimes, because sometimes my husband will be like, you want me to come in here and sit with you? I'm like, you can. I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? You don't have to, like, because like, you're about to be looking at your phone and stuff. And so what am I supposed to do? Cook and watch you look at your phone? Like, I can just focus on what I'm doing. I'm okay. And then that way I can listen to something.
Anyway, so here's Kat's study tips.
What are your study tips, friend?
So what I learned is using colored pencils helped me a lot with studying, so that each subject was in a different notes. I took notes and also in math, when we were doing like the numerators and denominators, and I'd get those mixed up. When I was doing the graphing, I would use one color for the X axis and another color for the Y axis, so I wouldn't flip the numbers.
That probably would have been helpful for me.
Because I'm visual. And it made it fun. Like, and when I would take notes and I had colored pencils, I was tricking myself into thinking I was in art class.
Ooh, this is fun.
And and they've proven too that doodling does help you study. Like when it helps you listen, especially if you're a little ADHD-ish, it helps you, because just listening to a topic you're not interested in is like bad. So if I'm able to like draw notes and like things that make, a lot of times like, oh, that made me think of this, and it helps it connect. And if you chew gum when you study, if you use the same flavor of gum when you take the test, that'll help to spark the memories from studying.
Oh, well, so there
you
you go,
should
guys.
put that olfactory system to work.
Let's go.
Yeah, but this is, but like I said, I actually looked into, I took a class on studying.
Oh, was it mandatory?
Yes. My mom did not make it an option.
Okay. Oh, okay. So this was
It was
high
a
school?
summer school. Yeah, it was a summer school class before I started high school. And I was like, Mom, do I really need to do this? She was like, yes.
Ooh, that would be a good one. I think my son could use that.
Yeah.
Because he's really good. I think sometimes, like, if you have a really great memory, like what you were saying, like he's pretty good at test taking. But when it comes to, I noticed in one of his classes, the one that he struggled in this year, it was one where, you're talking about stuff, you're taking notes, and then you're doing the test. And he was like, I don't know why. Because usually he's just used to being able to, read I guess, not necessarily going off of your own notes. You're just reading from the book and then taking the test. So it's like, you got to learn how to be a good note taker so that you know what kind of, information. So I might look and see if they have one of those. He'll be sad about it, but I might have to.
I remember at the time I was very irritated, but looking back, it was definitely, they helped me come up with a lot of mnemonic devices that I still use. I got the idea to get a recorder, like you can record class in case you want to go back. But that helped. Now they have online classes and stuff like that. Like that helps. So Yeah. There's lots of good stuff for the nerds there. What else did I have? I thought it was interesting that he originally wanted to be a priest.
He sure did.
Wasn't that something? I've heard that about Tom Cruise.
Oh.
He originally, because there is a performance aspect to
That is.
the
And you're the
priesthood.
center of attention.
You
I
are.
mean,
Like,
you get
mass
that.
is pretty much, a performance.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do each ritual in order and public speak and keep people engaged.
Wearing the fancy outfit.
And I think that he said one's life should involve service.
He did say that.
So, but I think he said it without saying it. I think he met a girl.
Yeah.
Which is what usually ends up happening. Well, not usually, just sometimes. And I think for some people, they're just like, you know what? I want to live an honest life, and I can just tell I'm going to need this.
Yeah.
So.
Which is good. You should not, like if you know you're going to be fighting against who you actually are to do what you're doing, that's probably a pretty good sign that you shouldn't be doing it. That's what I'm going to go with.
Also, did you remember that he was in the Word Up video?
A word up. I did. That was in my notes. That's funny.
I had forgotten. It reminded, like, I did know that, but I forgotten I'd known that.
Oh my gosh. Iconic
And then-
cameo.
But
But then you know what? I was thinking about the next generation because, Geordie LaForge or whatever.
I think in my notes I put Star Trek. Fuck
What did
yeah.
I say?
You said Next Generation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was agreeing with this. Was just I'm loading on.
Fuck yeah.
I was like Star Trek. Fuck yeah.
Oh my
As soon as that
gosh.
came on, I was like, let's go.
Oh my goodness. How cute was that? And they were so concerned that he wasn't going to continue doing Reading Rainbow.
I would
he
be
was
concerned.
They were like, wait a minute.
It's like, how can we do
Aw.
it? But I love him for not being like chucking up the deuces. It's like Hollywood's calling, bye PBS.
Right, exactly. Studying on these hoes. I am now on the Starship Enterprise. I don't need this stupid rainbow.
I very, very much remember the episode that he did about Star Trek: The Next Generation on Reading Rainbow.
That was cool.
Especially the glitter for the transporter. I love that episode because when he started Star Trek, that was part of the reason why I was willing to watch it with my dad. I'm like, oh, we'll do from Reading Rainbows on here. So at
Let's
least
go.
I'll get a chance to look at some gorgeous lips. So he has beautiful lips. I was like, really? Look, I was like, of course he's just a fantastic person, but I was like, he really is a beautiful man.
He's quite handsome.
Yeah, like most actors.
Way to go.
Yeah. He obviously takes care of himself.
Yeah, he does.
And that's always nice to see because it seems, and he kept his original wife before he got famous. I feel like that's always good for your health.
Hard to do, apparently.
Is it hard?
Seems like it. Shit. They struggling.
Well, he made it look easy,
Yeah.
and it just seems to me generally the men who do that tend to age better.
Oh, man. I thought you would like that. I was like, oh, man. I saw that part. I'm like, I know she's geeking out.
I
on the Star Trek.
was
Very, very nice. But yeah, I was glad that he was able to do both. And he said that Paramount and Reading Rainbow, they both kind of worked together to make sure he could do it. And I'm grateful because 26 seasons, that is wild. In fact, I didn't realize that it went because, obviously I had stopped watching Reading Rainbow a lot,
It's not obvious. You could have been. I'm childish. I just stopped watching a lot of stuff.
Okay, so you heard it here first, guys. Into the early 2000s, I wasn't regularly watching Reading Rainbow or whatever. As iconic as it is, but I didn't even realize that it was still going.
I didn't either.
Like around 9/11 and everything.
Yeah,
like they did a whole 9/11.
I didn't know that it was
episode.
Yeah.
And they really did touch on, like, that was really nice because I like how they re-brought up how, they talked about unconventional family structures, like maybe you have an incarcerated parent or, something like 9/11, like going in and interviewing those
And they said no
kids.
one was talking to the kids.
Yeah, it's important. And I think we forget sometimes in our grown-up world that kids are processing things in their own way, and like to have adults recognize, like, yeah, maybe we should be talking to them, not at them, or assuming that they aren't capable of taking in this information or understanding, which
is a lot of the illogical reasoning behind book bans.
Yeah.
The idea that kids wouldn't be able to handle these concepts, where it's like, no, these are really important things that kids are going to have to
reckon with.
Yes, in real life, you shouldn't have brought them here if you didn't want to talk about it.
It's like, this is here. This is what's happening.
You brought them
this
here.
Is your
so
fault.
Yeah, this isn't their fault. This is on them. So yeah.
Well, in the vein of that, so there was this episode called "The Day You Were Born." that was kind of like the thing. So the day
That got banned in the South somewhere.
So this episode was basically following this lady. She had already had 3 daughters. She was pregnant with her 4th. She agreed to have like it recorded and be part of the show. So the book kind of corresponded with, this lady and her family going through this journey, and they did like record the actual birth. Of course, it was a vagina-free shot of the birth, but you could see the baby coming out and everything. And Twyla was mentioning that they did like a sort of, they showed it to some kids to see how they were feeling to talk, and all of it was, nobody was really freaking out or anything. So the episode aired, and she was like clockwork, like this was the episode that really started a lot of push for funding. Yeah,
it's like, well, I don't know if children need to know how they come into the world.
She's like, it's birth. Like, it's how we all got
dirty
here. And it wasn't like, I could see, and it was age appropriate. Like, I'm sure you could probably go find the episode we're talking about, but it just goes to show how it's just super weird. It's like you want
family values, but not how you get family.
Right. I mean, like, so again, and
this
how
you make it.
Well, you mentioned women not knowing how their bodies work. We
were
talking about it in Patreon.
Yeah, Bridgerton.
About the Bridgerton, and how, it was like, oh, we don't know how is she pregnant without being married? Like, how do you expect people or young kids to understand the world around them or how their bodies work if you don't want to talk to them about it? And let's be clear, because if you're the kind of person who doesn't want your kid to see that on Reading Rainbow, I can assure you're not talking to them directly about it in your home.
Right.
So why not?
Because this isn't bad information. Like, the only kind of information that I'm upset about is like if it's bad, like this isn't accurate or good.
Yeah.
So, but since this was a real story about a real person having a baby. And actually, I ended up crying when I saw the baby come out. That was cry number 2. It's a miracle.
It's a miracle. God.
Like,
jeez.
I
cry at miracles.
I cry at miracles. It was kind of amazing because it's like, wow. It was beautiful. So it's like, why would we want to be like, oh, kids, don't look at the, It's like, what? It's like, I think there's this idea that somehow it's better to give kids these sort of feel-good myths, but it makes it really hard to like you said, navigate the real world, like to tether yourself to reality when you've just been fed a bunch of myths. So it's like, it's like a mommy and daddy love each other very much, and then the stork brings them a little baby. It's like, no, they did the human reproductive act, and now there's a person here.
There's a person here, man.
It's not the worst thing in the world.
It's just not. And so it was really sad to see that was sort of like the disband, like just the push from legislators across the country, especially in the South.
Let's name them.
Go ahead.
It
was Newt.
Newt Gingrich,
he was
bitch ass. Can I remind you too, and you want to talk about family values, he handed his wife divorce papers when she was going through cancer treatments. Like, she was in the hospital and he served her with divorce papers while she was going through cancer.
Wow.
So, like when they tell women when they're diagnosed with cancer, it's like, there's a good chance your husband's going to leave you. Newt Gingrich was one of them guys. And he ended up, I think, having an affair with one of his friends' wives and marrying her.
What?
Yeah. He was a real piece of dog crap. He's the one who went after Bill Clinton real hard too.
Okay.
For the Monica Lewinsky stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, you was doing the same damn thing. So that's my whole thing too. It's like, it'd be one thing if you were just like, oh man, like, really, Bill? But it's like, it was you too. Like,
right,
y'all,
hush.
it's like, stop.
You hush.
But yeah, this idea of like trying to paint like PBS is dangerous, and LeVar got them, he gathered them.
I love that.
That scene was so great. I was like, I've never loved him so hard. Because he was like, the only thing y'all are mad at is that we're not selling these children anything.
Absolutely. It's ad free. I mean, we're here because of, patrons and people who are, giving their time and money. And I mean, it's the labor of love, and for them to picture it like that. And then I was thinking too, why is everything that's good like that underfunded? And and it is because capitalism. I mean, obviously.
Thank you.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say money. It's because money.
Because it's like, who's getting rich? Is there not an already rich person getting richer? Then I'm not interested.
Exactly. It's like, where we could actually save money, educating our children.
Here's the other thing. I liked when he said all television is educational. The question is, what are we teaching? Ooh. And I loved that because I think, I think I've said that before about art. All art is propaganda. At the end of the day, like there is going to be some sort of message there. So what are you trying to put out there? And I think that like because there was Sesame Street, the Reading Rainbows. Once again, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, wonderful programming. It was just never my jam, except for the song.
The song was it bops.
And the and because I love puppets, the Land of Make Believe.
Those puppets looked weird though.
They did look weird, but
it
were
was still
puppets.
fun.
They're
Yeah.
still puppets.
It was still fun.
Puppets are better than people.
Like, why did their cheeks look like that? And their
They were a
noses?
little scary. Those.
Yeah.
Oh, I was talking about Meow Meow. Who was the cat one?
I don't remember.
There was a cat one.
That one was cool.
He was like the prince or something.
They were weird.
It was bizarre.
But it was cool though. It was still there was something about it.
Yeah, I don't want to. But to
But-
me, I got hyped for when Sesame Street
Yeah.
came on.
Yeah. It just was good. I mean, all of those songs were iconic, and you just felt the heart of it. You know what I mean? Like, and as somebody who grew up in a house without cable, like PBS literally got us together. Like that was our way of having like programming that was just for us. Because I mean, if there's only 3 channels,
There was no
none of them
Cartoon
were
Network.
for you. Yeah, so
There was
it
no
like-
Cartoon Network. We got
No.
cartoons on Saturday mornings.
That was it.
Until golf came on.
Yeah. So what was it? Was it 2.5 hours?
No, I
3?
got up at 6. It'd be from 6 to 12. I
6
don't know
to
where.
9.
Well, I
Oh,
don't know what
okay.
they were doing in Detroit, but
Okay.
and
Now we were
Indy-
getting up at 6 too, low key, because it was a church show that came on first that we had to call evidence that we had to make it through until cartoons got to busting down. So don't think we weren't up bright and early waiting. Okay.
Okay, so it wasn't
So-
too dissimilar.
Nope.
Yes, and then it was just, and I mean, I lived for it. I remember. Even on Friday nights before the new season of Saturday morning cartoons came on, there'd be a Friday evening, like sort of preview of all the shows. And I remember Punky Brewster did one where
Oh, I
they were
love that
like
show.
falling into like, they're like, oh no, the gummy bear. Like they'd go through like stuff like that. Oh, it would just make me so happy. But like, yeah, kids don't worry about that. No, they got everything
At all
24/7.
Man, I told you the first time my kids saw a commercial, they were devastated. They were like, "What is this? Why does the show keep
The wailing
stopping?"
and gnashing of teeth.
Like they were pissed. They were like, "What?" Like the indignant. It was like, "What is this though? What is happening to my beloved show? Why does it keep stopping? Why do they keep showing me this? I don't want this." I'm like,
I hate it here.
yeah, it's like they're trying to sell you stuff. They want you to
Yes,
buy
give them
this.
money,
Yeah.
and you will.
And you will. You eventually will. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I don't know. For me, the overall feeling of this whole documentary was just so much love. And it makes me grateful that I grew up in a time where, I didn't, my attention wasn't really split. Like, that was something that was like, I was very honed into. And I do kind of attribute it to the way I feel about reading and always have. And a lot of it has to do with LeVar. He
It does.
Was just.
Do you think this show, the Fake Ass Book Club, would exist as it is if it weren't for Reading Rainbow?
Man, maybe not. Because honestly, again, when you're talking about making content that's sort of built around literacy or reading, it's like snooze. You know what I mean? But
It's like
also
books that's so old
books,
tech.
Ew, exactly. Ew. No, I don't think so. Because again, that representation of seeing like a beloved show that was built around literacy and reading and making it fun, like we know it's possible and we're fun on a bun.
We are.
So,
that's the thing, learning that it is possible.
It is.
It's because and the fact too that they would have kids do the reviews.
So cute.
Because that also makes, I read something too, like it's more persuasive if it's someone your age. Like for kids, like if you have someone explaining something to you, it's like, well, those kids seem with it.
I mean, it looks so cute with their
They
little
were so
snaggle teeth and stuff. It was just like, oh my God, look
They're
at
so
them.
earnest. It's
Yes.
just beautiful. And you'll notice, like, even though this was a children's show that had children in it, they managed to not molest anybody. How do you think they did that?
I mean, they were just decent. Human decency. Alex for 200.
You know why I think too? Because there was also a decent amount of female leadership. Like it wasn't all female led, but I think the fact that they allowed for female leadership,
Yeah.
I think it makes it's not impossible, but a lot of times when you have diversity in leadership, it makes it harder for certain types of bullshit that's persisted in maybe more homogenized environments.
Oh, that was such a nice way of saying that, friend.
Thank you. I'm a nice ass motherfucker.
You are.
So I really like. I wish I remember the guy with the dreads at the end. I really feel bad for getting his name.
Wait,
but I guess we could. But I like when he said we knew LeVar loved us. Like you could feel the love. Like when he was talking to us in the camera. Actually, let's look it up. Let's go to break and look for whatever that man's name was.
Okay, we're gonna look it up and we'll be right back. And we're back. Hey guys, we're back. Okay, what a break, friend.
We talked about like sexual mores and shame.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah,
you guys should go to the Patreon.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. We also located the name of the gentleman in the documentary that we were speaking about. His name is Jason Reynolds, and he was lovely. I feel like
he's something with books. We didn't look up what he did.
Well, damn it. Damn it, Kat.
But since he was a young man when the show was on, and having him discuss what LeVar Burton meant to him, like seeing a black man, like, on TV, just being himself, not being a caricature.
Yeah.
Like having that authentic sort of like, I'm just a guy doing the things I like.
That's right. And everybody has to deal with it. But yeah, it was very nice. And I do think that that's super important because, he was mentioning I had to get over that I wasn't going to be Michael Jordan. And I got into my love of literature through basically hip hop when he realized it was poetry. And then that started his love for the written word and all of that kind of stuff. And then seeing people involved in it in different ways is really important too. Cause you may only see rap artists and stuff, but when you see somebody like LeVar, who's, like on this child show, and he's got the earring, he's got the goatee. And again, like it didn't feel performative. It didn't feel like he was like code switching, if you will, for those of you who, know what that means. It's like, he was just being himself, and he was a well-spoken black person. And I also like that he highlighted that we didn't love LeVar because he read books. Like black people read books all the time. You know what I mean? Like you have so many educators, you have so many community leaders. But what was the most revolutionary thing about that was that he was showing up as us. And as a positive representation of us in the most authentic way. And so I think that's what resonated with folks. And that's why we freaking love him, man. I mean,
do you want to rate it?
Amazing. I do. I feel like obviously I'm giving it 5 butterflies. Let's be for real. In the sky.
5 out of 5?
5 out of 5 butterflies in the sky.
I'm going to give it 5 out of 5 rainbows.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. You have to.
Because it was, perfection. I think anybody who ever watched Reading Rainbow would love this. And if you've never watched it, this will make you want to watch it.
It's so
And
true.
make your kids watch it. I wish there was... Is there anything similar for kids now?
Not that I'm aware of.
Just the fake ass book club.
Just us guys.
We're here for the children.
Hello. They just animate part of this. That'd be great.
Every time I upload to YouTube, they're like, is this made for children? It's like, no.
No.
Go ahead and knock us down the algorithm.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. But
No.
yeah, no. But that would be dope though, to see something, modernized. It's just so hard to compete, I feel like right now. But I think it could be done. I mean, with all the
It'd have to
YouTube
be a
content and
TikTok.
stuff.
It'd have to be
it'd have to be
just a-
YouTube shorts type stuff.
Just an account.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and maybe it's out there. Share it with us if you guys know about
we don't
stuff.
know all the things.
I know very little, so I'm here for it. But yeah, I just really enjoyed this. Definitely recommend it. I think if you don't or wouldn't like this documentary, you're a certified hater. And you
But
should
don't
check
take
yourself.
our word for it.
Dun-dun-dun.
Oh man.
Yeah. Or you just hate learning.
Oh, I did have a thing that I just kind of saw the other day.
was
My
it?
algorithm brings me like articles from Psychology Today.
Okay.
And it was an article by Liz Stillwagon talking about the end of reading and about how college students aren't really reading right now. And and how reading is the best way to get better at writing. And it doesn't matter so much what you read, just that you read. So I think I'm going to start an unofficial sort of reading program with my daughter.
Nice.
And I'm probably just going to pay her money to read books and talk about them with me.
I think that's dope.
Because right now she'd much rather be on Snapchat.
Obviously. I mean, the filters are amazing.
Yeah,
on Snapchat.
but I want her to, I just know that my life is so much richer and fuller because of reading.
It is.
And books. And of course, you know, you brought up rap before being a form of poetry.
Twice.
And one of the songs that really inspired us was Read a Book.
Yes.
Read a book.
Read an MF and book.
Yeah, not a sports page, not a magazine,
But a motherfucking book.
but a book. And it
read a book.
read a book.
Read a damn book.
book. It's just,
I mean,
does
just
so
read a
much
book.
for you. So yeah.
Super dope.
And yes, and yeah, I think it's something that I just never get tired of. It just makes me so happy.
It's timeless. We get to
Yeah.
go so many places. But speaking of rap, Run DMC did make an
They
appearance on the show.
They did.
That was pretty cool.
It was.
They wrote a song just for the
They did. Got it
episode.
like right in at the deadline too.
Yeah.
Like proper N-words.
I love that.
I do
and I
too.
think but again, like I love the diversity that they showed throughout. They didn't shy away from showing different cultures.
I love that too.
all that
Kids from all
stuff.
over the world, because it's just like,
Yes.
man, we just all row in the same
We
boat
out here.
and it makes it harder to drop bombs on people when you know just see their kids just being normal and stuff. Like just now when we're seeing all these protests and college campuses are just like, these are just people like us. Maybe we don't kill them. Anywho, you want to spin the wheel?
Yes.
Okay.
Spin it. Oh yay! Okay. I know. Shifting gears from that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're not gonna read.
Actually, guys, I take it all.
Take it all back. We're not reading just yet.
Just yet, you guys. But you know what? It's Pride Month. We were talking about. Kat was asking me had I seen Gerard Carmichael's reality show, and I said no because I was so scared. Because I feel like the content of it seems so wildly uncomfortable that I'm like, I don't know if I want to see it, but I think I've been convinced. So we are going to be reviewing his reality show, the Gerard Carmichael reality show.
Yes, I'm very persuasive and relentless, and
She broke me down.
Pride Month.
It is.
He's a gay man who recently won a Grammy for his special where he came out. And
Oh, did he win a Grammy for that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or not a Grammy. What are they called?
I was about to
Emmys.
say, oh.
He won an Emmy.
Okay.
Even though he could have won a Grammy for, I guess,
Perhaps.
spoken word or whatever.
Sure.
I don't know. I'll look into it.
Listen, I was just like, yeah,
We'll find out
cool.
on the next. He got a shiny gold statue
Okay.
for the Rothaniel special, which we
Okay.
covered when that came out. And so I think this will just be very apropos that we just see where Gerard Carmichael is right now.
In his journey. I like it. Okay. All right. I guess I'll witness whatever it is he's got going on, and we'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
So it should be fun. Let's see. What do we have coming up, friend?
Oh, we have lots of things coming up.
my
Oh, it's going to be a
gosh, booked and busy.
summertime. So it looks like this weekend I'll be at the Fury Art Fair.
Oh, very nice.
There'll be more posted about that as that arrives. Weekend after. Wait, when is IBE? Oh yeah,
The
that's
30th.
the 30th. Oh,
Sunday the
well,
30th.
I'm actually the 8th. I'm doing something for IBE. I'm gonna do a
Let's
live
go
paint
on
on the
that
28th, and then we're doing. But as Fab,
Friday.
we'll be in the house on the 30th doing a live show. Those are always fun.
Those are fun.
As always, if you want to come out to my trivia nights, that'd be fun. I do trivia nights in Fishers on Mondays and Thursdays. Yeah, come at me. And
like it.
what else? Oh, Songs You Never Hear Out with
the
Brothers
good
to the
Brother
Night.
to the
That'll be
Night.
on Juneteenth.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah. Do you want to
I like
go?
that. What day is it on?
It's a Wednesday night. But school's out. It's summer.
Work's not out. I still got to be there. And I'm by myself every day.
Be a responsible adult. It's
I
fine.
know. I wish
That's
I could
fine.
be less responsible. It'd be way more fun.
I mean, you could.
I could. I just can't do it. It's just kind of like,
No one cares. I'll be going to a lot of track meets. Track meets.
Gotta love those.
Lots of those on the calendar. That's all I can think. Oh, and Regina. her birthday.
Oh my gosh, shout out to Regina.
Yeah, we'll post that too because that was online, right?
Yes.
So I only put the events that I was going to try to go to, which is Yoga on the Canal on June 12th, and then Ladies' Night at Havana.
Oh man,
on it's a Wednesday. Sorry,
Wednesday.
So
man.
why don't you just blow off work?
Because there's no one else to pick it up. It's like, because then I'm associated with. I don't like being associated with fuckery.
Okay. I was going to say niggerdom.
You know what I mean? It's like she just didn't show up. I'm just not that girl. I can't.
Well, call.
Who?
Just be like, hey, guys.
I won't be there.
I'm sick.
I'm not into faking either. It's just like, I'm not going to be there. If I'm going to do it, it's just like, yeah, I'm not coming. Don't matter why. I'm not going to be there. But it's just really hard for me to do.
It is. It is. I'm not going to be a bad influence. But I'm going to try to go to that. So, yeah, that's a lot of stuff going on in June.
I'm excited.
Oh, we didn't even talk about it. The Newfields exhibit that I was in. Ooh. Like, we got to, you were my plus one. Thank you for helping me. Or, experiencing that with me because it was such a great experience. And
thanks for having me.
Thanks for being there because it was, and the exhibit's still up. If you missed the opening reception, it's fine. The art will be up until July 16th.
And it's funny, you guys should go through the exhibit and like if you find her picture, take a picture of it and tag us at the Fab Podcast on IG.
That.
Yeah,
you might win a prize.
Yeah,
we're not saying you will, but you might. Not from us, but you might win a prize
in life.
In life,
and you're supporting Black artists.
You are, and the whole point is to get more people going to the art museum. We want to get more people into art and books.
Yeah.
They're not as boring as it sounds.
It's so much fun, especially if you have good company. Everything's fun with good company. Mm-hmm. So just, pick some good stuff.
And it's beautiful out, the gardens.
I agree. I'm ready. I'm ready for the summer. This has been great. I wish I had a summer break. Like, I need a summer break. No? Can somebody call in for me? Can y'all just...
I've already told you what to do. You do like this.
I'm hard-headed. Not... And then I'll be...
Yeah. I know, I'm so bad at lying. I've been like, wait, what?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't do that.
Because people be like, hey, how are you feeling? I'm like, I'm fine. Why?
Oh, great. It's like,
bitch, you called off sick 2 days ago.
Yeah, that's why I don't call off sick.
Oh, right. Oh,
I just call off.
I'm still a little,
hazy, COVID brain. Same reason why I can't try on wigs at the beauty supply no more. COVID. But anyway, you guys, it's been real. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. As always, especially with this episode, you guys, look what can happen when you're like involved in something that you truly love. And, Reading Rainbow is a really great example of a passion project that really influenced the lives of generations. So, even if it doesn't influence the lives of generations, you never know what, your love or interest or passion could inspire in the people around you. So be involved in those things. Hold tight to those things because it's this or nothing, guys. Okay?
Oh, and your body belongs to you.
It's true.
So
read a book.
Have fun with it. Yeah.
Read a book.
Read a book.
Do some art.
Learn how to do a cartwheel eventually.
I'm just saying. So, all right, guys, I think it's time. Those margaritas are kicking in now.
They are.
Okay, friend, this was fun. It's summertime.
Fun.
I love your rainbow outfit.
I love your
rainbow
so much
outfit.
fun.
We did not plan this.
We really did.
That is so crazy.
It was just the vibes.
How do we do this? Is this because you're my OSO?
Probably.
Okay.
We've been, since the 1900s, and I'm like, oh yeah.
It's like so we're matching.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
But not exactly.
Not exactly.
But it's just like
it's
harmony.
The vibe. It's harmony.
It was just like
Yeah, I like it. All right, guys, we're out of here. Enjoy your week. See you next time. Peace.
Before we go, we must give thanks to Urban Nerd for providing our music, and legal services were handled by Trezene M. Atkins. If you like what you heard, please feel free to join us every Wednesday for another fake-ass book club. Cheers.
Thank you guys for listening. You can check us out at thefabpodcast.com. Please subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you're listening right now. We want to hear from you. Come put it in our life. Thanks again, and until next time, peace, love, and the Fake Ass Book Club. We out.